A slicer in Power BI is a powerful and user friendly visual that allows users to filter data dynamically on their reports and dashboards. Right? A slicer helps you to interact with your data by visually narrowing down the information in our report based on the selected criteria. Right? This was a basic intro to slicer. To give you the demo, I have created three charts here that we have already discussed in prior videos or tutorials. If you want to learn these visuals, you can go back to the previous videos and check how do we create it. Correct. Now, to create a slicer, you should be in your report view under the visualizations pane. Here, under the fifth row, fourth visual. This is our slicer. Just click on it. A slicer, blank slicer, will be inserted in your report. Here, just you can drag and drop it anywhere in the report where you want to place it. You can just resize it. Correct. Here, if you see in under the visualizations pane, we have only one field to display the data into it. Right. So under this field, we will be using the fields from our query, right, to make it populated. Let's say under the date column I have year. Let me just put the year into it. Right, it will show me the years, right, in this slider format, between format. Right, if you just the basic use of this is, let's say it is as of now 2013-14. That means it is showing the data for two values, 2 years. If I go to my table view and just go to my date column, here you will see we have data for only 2 years, 2013 and 14. Correct. So that's what our slicer visual is displaying us. Now if I just use my slicer visual here using this slider, both the values are 2013 and our charts got reflected for 2013 only. Now if I just change it, now our charts are now being again interacted with this slicer. So now it is showing us the data for 2013 and 14 both. Correct. This way we use slicers to interact with our reports and dashboards to just filter out the information we want to see. So here I am seeing the information in my visuals for 2013 data. Right. If I just scroll it again for 2013 and 14, now again my all the visuals are being interacted with this slicer to show 2013 and 14 both years data. Correct. So I can change the interactivity or the style of this visual in the format your visual section of form visualization pane. Here we have again the two categories of formattings. Right, under the visual formatting we have slicer settings. So here by default the date or the year slicer comes up with this slider. This is the between style, right, for 2013 and 14. It's between this. So here we can change our style. Let's say vertical list. So it will show you the slicer in the form of list. You can select here this value for 2013 selected. Charts are interacted. If you select 2014, now charts are again interacted. If you want to remove the selection, you have just here the clear selections or the eraser icon. Just click on it, the selection will get removed. Correct. Here you have again different options, tile view. So it will give you the slicer in the tile format this way. Right, you can again erase the selection. Here you can also use drop down. So here this will give you the drop down format. Right, here you can select this value and you can just remove the selection. Here you can also use some other formats. Right, for selection, here you as of now this is multi select. Right, if you see multi select with control, correct, it is turned on. So if you see I will not be able to select two sl- uh, two values at the same time, but if I press control and then click on the second value, then I'll be able to select multiple values here. So this is this formatting. Now if I again erase it and just toggle it off, here it will just show you again. Here you can now select both the values without control. Correct. If you go with single select, then this checkbox will turn into this radio button, and you will be by default able to select only one value. Correct? If you just toggle it off, then again these values will be multiple selections. Now if you see here, we don't have select all option. If I just toggle this on, right, here it will show us select all option also. So by default if I click on it, so it will select all the options or all the values we have. If I again remove this, then the selection will be removed and you can use only one selection you want. Correct? This way. So this is the basic functionality of a slicer. You can use multiple slicers in your report, right? If I have added one new slicer, right? Let's say I add country into it. Correct? So here countries, my by default it is in the vertical list format, so these slicer will also be interactive by nature. If I show you for 2013, other charts are interacted, right? If I show you for Canada, right, so we have the data for 2013 year and for Canada country. Correct? So these slicers are also, multiple slicers are also interactive with each other. Correct? I can also select France here. It's the same formatting I can apply here that I did for year. Vertical list, I can use it the tile format. I can use it in the drop down format. Correct? This way. Here, if we go to the selections, we can turn off multiple select with control and we can select multiple data. Let's say for France, Germany, Mexico, and we are showing the data for 2013 year, right? We can here use multiple selections, right? If we go to below more settings, other settings will be common for all the slicer we have in Power BI report. Here for country slicer, you can change the title here. Let's say instead of country, I use countries. The header got changed. You can change the font family, font size. Minimum font size is always 8. The font color, correct. You can change the border here of the slicer, right? For slicer header it was. So here if I go here, border, this is a border of slicer header. If I go on top, a slicer header for top has been added here. Correct? This way you can add borders. Correct? You can add borders for all the things you want to add it, right? All the sites you want to add it, right? You can change the color of this border, right? You can increase the line width. And if you click on reset to default, then the formatting will be reset to default as set by Power BI. Correct? For background, you can also change the background color of your header this way, right? Pending icon, it is turned on as of now, right? Here you can just change the font formatting here and you can turn it off as well. For values, values are, if you just drop it down, these are the values we have. Let me put it to the list view to explain you better. Correct? And increase its size. So whatever these are given, Canada, France, Germany, Mexico, USA, these are the values of my slicer. Right here you can change the formatting. Semi bold, let's say it is changed. You can increase or decrease the size. Correct? You can change the font color, right? You can increase the padding. Padding means the space between these values. Let's say if it is by default 4 pixel, let's say if I decrease it, the spacing got decreased, right? Minimum is 0 and you can increase it this way. Correct? You can keep the border for all these values also, the same way we did for headers. You can change the color and line width. Also you can change the background color here, right? This way. And if you click on reset to default, then the default formatting will be applied. Default formatting means the formatting that Power BI by itself applies to any visual, right? In general pane, general formattings are the formatting that are applicable, that are common to all the visuals, right? Here in the properties, you can change the height and width here. Let's see if I change the height to from it got increased, decreased, and we can decrease a bit more. You can change the width, let's say to 40 pixels, right? It got decreased a bit more. Correct, this way. Position, you can change its position. Let's say for vertical, let me do it for 80 pixel. It got moved a little bit above, right? For horizontal, let me do it for 20, so it will leave 20 pixels from the left, right? The padding, so this padding means the space between the border of this chart or the visual and this starting or the values or the area of this visual, right? As of now it is 5 pixels, so it is leaving 5 pixels from the top. If it is 0, then there will be no space if you observe here on the top. So you can change it using this padding option, right? Here if you see title is turned off, if you turn it on, you can give it any title here. Let's say slicer. Yeah, right, this title comes up, but we don't have any requirement to give the title here. You can turn it off, and you can also give the same font formattings here: font family, font size, bold, italic, underline, text color, background color, horizontal alignment, this way. Correct. As of now I am turning it off. Effects, you can change the, in effects you can format your background color, visual border, and shadow. So here under the background color, you can give any background color here to this board visual, right? You can give any background color here. Let's say by default it is black color. I We can change it, we can increase the width of it, right? You see here, now the edges are sharp edges. So if I just go back to the same formatting, effects, border, if I want to keep the borders rounded, I can use this input field, or we can use this slider also, right? The borders will be now rounded. Now if you see, we have these square boxes or the check boxes as the same color as background color. We can also change it under, if we go to values, right? Here we can change the background color of it. Let's say it is turned off, let's say I change it to white. So this white color is applied to these values only, right? We can reset to default. Correct. Here now if we go back to your general settings, here under the effects, you can give the shadow also, right? This way you can change the color, offset to outside or inside, and you can change the position. Data format, so this is the important property. We do have only country here, just keep it to text, right? If we have any numeric value, and just like sales, it should be in currency format, then you have to apply that one formatting here, data type here, right? For header icons, these are the header icons. Correct, these header icons are these header icons are always visible in Power BI desktop, but if you turn this property on, then they will be visible in Power BI service too. But if you turn it off, then they won't be visible in Power BI service, right? If it is turned on, you can format the visual headers also. Let's say background color, border color, and the icon color also. Correct. And you can choose what icons you want to display here. If you want to remove any icon, you can just toggle that button off, right? Or and you want to make it visible, then you can turn it on. So the basic use of these slicers are just to create the interactivity between the visuals of the report or dashboard, right? And just keep your information narrowing, right? Visually narrowing down the information basis on whatever the value or whatever the criteria we use to select